rocking and rolling and the blades are turning so far in 2023. Just want to get on here and express a few things I've been thinking about lately and get some feedback from everyone and see what your comments are on what I'm about to discuss. So, without further ado, the first thing I want to ask you guys about is your budget, your yearly budget. Granted, it's kind of impossible to say for the 2023 season you don't want to spend no more than, let's just throw out a random number, $5,000 in expenses on everything. Rather if that's fuel and equipment, etc. You want to set a $5,000 budget if you pretty much have everything still in running order. Your mowers are still pretty good shape from the previous years, blowers, trimmers, etc. With the new year, which would be the 2023 season, what is your budget advice that you would have for everyone? I would say my budget advice for everyone is don't go into debt, pretty much. Don't go into debt. And I'll leave that there because it's been preached so many times before. But for the ones who just set a yearly budget, if you drop down in the comments below, it may help others out. How do you break down your yearly budget for the seasons? I break mine down personally. I would say, and this goes into my next point, as far as like the majority of my funding is just making sure the fuel stays into the mower and my truck. Those are the two most gas using pieces at the top of the list, followed by my smaller equipment. Right now, with the current gas prices in my town, right at $3.45 for regular. That's not even including if you use, the next two levels of gas up. It takes about $27 to fill up this zero turn mower, and that's a 5-gallon tank. And that's pretty sad that it takes that much just to fill up a lawnmower tank. So that's money out of your budget that you've already set right then and there, plus the money you have to use to keep up regular maintenance, preventative maintenance on your equipment, and also the pickup truck or whatever vehicle you use every day to haul this equipment around. Just alone, my pickup truck, it'll probably take right at $55 in regular gas right now at the current mark of gas prices just to fill that up. And that is money out of your budget. No matter how many frequent times you go to the fuel pumps, you got to keep that in mind. And that brings me to my next thought is, in my town, it's such a it's small but big, but every corner you turn, everywhere you look, you can't go no less than about a mile without running into a lawn care company. Some you've seen before, and then all of a sudden you see another company that's in your town. Where there's one particular company that I pay close attention to because every single morning they are at the fuel pumps getting gas. From the glance I take, they run 2 commercial style Exmark mowers. They have several pieces of handheld, look like 2-cycle equipment, the regular trimmers, weed eaters, the blowers, and edgers. And in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, you run your business how you want to, but if you're at the fuel pumps every single day having to get fuel, I don't know what they're charging. I don't know what kind of accounts they're managing, but I'm just looking at the standpoint of, is there a very good income to match the outpour of money that is having to be spent every single day on fuel at the price fuel is nowadays? I can fill up my 5-gallon can in my lawnmower, and I can go through my whole entire route. I can do about, I would say, 10 or 12 yards And if the yards, if they're not overgrown or anything like that, I'll still, you know, probably just barely touch the gas that I have in my can. I'll probably top off my lawnmower, but I have it to where, and I'm glad I can. I don't have to stop by the gas station every single time I go out to mow. And that's as a solo operator. So I'm just trying to figure out, when it comes to more equipment on your trailer, how do you guys budget that when it comes to, either being a solo operator, or if you're working as a team with employees. That's just really, to me, I'm just wanting everybody to open up and say how they manage that, and maybe that'll help others, who's planning to go that route. And that brings me to another thought is, when you have a lot of equipment and employees, granted, you can train your employees how to use your equipment and, keep it, upkept very well, but we all are guilty of, to an extent, not, maintaining equipment the proper way. And you train these guys and girls to go out here and use this equipment. Well, people get complacent. They start doing things the way they want to do it. They start yanking on your cords on the machines hard. They're popping the cords out. They're breaking this and breaking that. And that comes to maintenance side of the budget. I mean, a lot of stuff, looking on YouTube and stuff like that, you can do it yourself and fix it. But what about that complicated stuff that breaks and you can't fix it and you have to send it to a dealer because, your employee didn't maintain the integrity of the piece of equipment because of negligence? How do you guys, budget for that? Because breakdowns are inevitable. They're going to come. It's just a part of it. And that just brings me to the next thing is, when you're out here doing lawn care and making content and everything like that, I can just say personally, I would like to set the example of what it takes to be in lawn care. Now, granted, I don't have all the answers, and my content may not be, the greatest, of everyone that's out here shooting content and explaining everything, but I just want to be able to get on here and share my knowledge of what has worked for me in the last few years of me doing this. And a lot of things that has worked for me is, managing the money that I income from lawn care and making sure I keep up with the equipment I have. And this year's 2023 season, I have picked up new clients. And with lawn care, growth is another thing that's kind of hard to get around. There's some people who just want to stay right where they're at. They have a certain amount of customers. That's all they want. That's perfect. And then there are other companies out here that want to continue to grow. Well, with growth, sometimes you have to get new equipment to manage the growth. And that comes to me. I'm starting to get more and more yards and properties that require me to step up a little bit more with my equipment, going more for commercial style equipment, because I want to be able to manage the time and the equipment use. I want to be able to mix that and make it both fall even. When I say fall even, I don't want to get on a yard, in the future, that if I had the right piece of equipment, I could knock that time down from 45 minutes to 30 minutes. Saving time, makes money, if that makes sense. You can get to the next property. So with that, in 2023, I may just buy one piece of equipment for 2023. And that's part of growth. And I have purchased a piece of equipment. It'll be featured on the channel soon. And a lot of, thought went into this, rather if I should get it now or later. But when I look at the route that my business is going and the growth that I'm getting, I need it now. I don't want to be behind the 8 ball and not have what I need for the future, especially as a solo operator. My advice, if you're going to be solo, and I'm learning it year to year, is the equipment you use and have makes your business. If you can afford, keyword, if you can afford to get a bigger piece of equipment, commercial style, as you grow, that will help speed up your time, I would encourage that. But I highly encourage that you stay within your budget now. And I'm not going to go into that topic because I have several times before. But I'm just explaining with growth for me personally, I had to pick up this new piece of equipment because some yards I have, they don't have a lot of cleanup needed for them, and some I'm picking up do. And the ones that do, I need something that's going to be capable of lasting me a while and also getting the job done. So I stepped out, I got what I needed, and eventually it'll pay for itself in the end. Granted, right now, this time of the season, it's really, I'm looking for open yards, but once this season, gets ready to wrap up, or whatever I tackle during this season, the equipment I have and the piece of equipment that I picked up is definitely going to double my on the ground in 1 yard time. It's going to speed it up. I can be in and out a little bit faster. So don't be afraid of growth at the proper time. Don't prematurely try to grow and fall on hard time, but don't be afraid to grow when it is well earned and well due, and in the shadow of a doubt it's time to move it up a notch. Another thing that, that's going to be the last thing that I want to ask you guys about, far as lawn care life, is when it comes to just pretty much being there for one another on social media. The feedback in the comments and suggestions, I would say that anybody could attest to this and say that passing on your knowledge to people is awesome, because nowadays free knowledge is one of the most overlooked things on the media. And I'm not saying that people don't soak in what a lot of people are saying, but it's like this video right here. You may look at 3 or 4 minutes of it and then skip to another part, or you may just listen to the first 2 minutes and skip to another video and completely. And you may miss something that you have a question to that no one you've asked so far has answered, and you just, maybe you go back and finish the video completely or whatever, but everyone has so much different points of views and so many different tips and tricks to help in lawn care. I just highly suggest that when you watch these channels, you soak in something and spend just a few more minutes viewing the video and listening to what someone is explaining, and it definitely will pay off for you in the end. You never know. I hope this video makes a lot of sense. I hope it wasn't just a bunch of rambling. And like I just said, you may have watched just a few minutes of it and skipped ahead or went to the next video completely. That's totally fine. I just want to open up myself and just be a little bit more transparent when it comes through my channel. So I appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch my channel, listen to what I'm saying, giving feedback, and I hope you guys stay safe out there. And this is Simon from Grant's Lawn Care, and I'll catch you guys on the very next video. And let 2023 be the year of growth, whether if it's your first year going in or your 5th or 6th year. Let's make this year the growth year. And y'all take care out there.